Seconds to loading this. Yeah, I believe that we are on YouTube. So let's start. Um, good evening, YouTube. We are here for another English immersion. My name is Warley, and the topic for today is remote work over? So we're gonna talk a little bit about this topic. But before to start with the questions exactly, I would like to explain a little bit about Talk and Talk. So you that are watching us on YouTube can understand how this idea works. So Talk and Talk is a conversation platform for beginning, intermediate, or advanced speakers. It's not so mandatory or important your level in English. The main idea here is to focus on the conversation and practice and to try to be more confident with English. So that's the main idea here. This is not a regular class. I'm not an English teacher. And besides of English, we have other languages as well, like Spanish, French, and Italian, I believe. And you can see all of that on the Talk and Talk website, okay? So with that in mind, I think we can start with the question number one. In your opinion, should companies return to full in-office work or should they offer hybrid models? What do you think, Evelyn, about this question?
Mm, um, I I think both models are effective, but depend of the company and the position because there are companies needs to people working in office work, and there are companies can have hybrid models. So I don't think it's a rule. So it depends of the situation, but for positions to have alternative to hybrid models, I think it's effective, and people really enjoy this because of quality life and another topics too.
Okay, in which case do you think hybrid mode is better compared to remote work, for example? Do you think it depends of the company or maybe it depends of the position? What do you think?
In my case, I enjoy hybrid models because I need to communicate with people. I need this. I work with human resource, so it's really important to communicate with another people. And in remote works, I think people communicate more for meetings, so it's formal meetings. So in office, I think it's better to for communicate and to be um, relationships. I don't think how I say that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I believe depends of your position as well, you know. As you said, if you have a position about human resources, for example, it's important to have this connection. And I don't know if you are on our leadership position, it's so important as well to have this contact with people, you know. It's not so easy to work full
Yeah.
remote, I believe. And I don't think that all the companies, actually, I think the most companies, they aren't prepared to do remote work, you know. They don't have like the good experience and they don't have the maturity to this quite of asynchronous communication, you know, and it's not so easy. I like a lot the remote work and the flexibility that we have, but I know that talking about communication is not so easy. So for a lot of companies, it's not so easy at all. So yeah, it depends a lot about the company, about the positions, and a lot of things. But yeah, that's a good point. And what
Yeah.
about you, Mayara? What do you think about this question number one? You're muted. Yeah, you are muted, Mayra. Your mic is off.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
I think a hybrid is better because we have a quality of life. Essa parte eu não sei, mas como não pegar trânsito sempre.
You don't waste a lot of time on the traffic. It's part of that, right? Yeah, that's amazing. But for example, do you think the hybrid mode is the best option? Is maybe the actually let me rephrase that. Do you think the hybrid mode is the middle of the both options? So because of that, this model is the best because we have the good points maybe about the remote work, and we have the good points about the full in office work. Do you think is that true in your opinion? Your mic's up again. Your mic is up.
E todo dia?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Full work seria ir todo dia para o trabalho?
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Do you think, for example, the hybrid mode is the best option because is that in the middle of the both options, remote and full in office?
Yes, I think hybrid is better. Tanto quanto você trabalhar remoto, só remoto.
Yeah, I actually before I was thinking about the remote work, and in my opinion, it was the best option because a lot of things, about flexibility, and all the points that all the worst points that we have on the big cities, for example. But I know that in remote work we have a lot of problems, so it's not the best option or the perfect option, actually, the remote work, So nowadays, I believe that hybrid mode is maybe the best one, or is maybe the middle of both options. So we have the good points about connection with people and these good points, and we also have the good points about the remote work. So maybe it's the middle of the options, but yeah, again, it depends a lot of the company, depends a lot of how is this model on the company and about your position as well. So in a general way, maybe it's the best option, in my opinion, but it depends a lot of things, uh, but yeah, I think it's a good option. So let's move on to the question number two. Can remote work increase productivity, or does it reduce efficiency? What do you think, Maya, about that? About this question number two?
Hum, eu, eu acho. I think é important go out, ir para o trabalho, porque for relationship with friends, the work, but I think não interfere na produtividade, but we we can have more ideas for com mais pessoas próximas, because não, por isso que eu acho importante o híbrido, você ter os dois. E eu sei que a pergunta foi, que a minha resposta foi mais assim, mas eu acho que sobre a produtividade, não deixaria menos eficiente, não. Mas eu acho importante também.
Yeah, that's a good point. We talk a lot about the remote work and the productivity of people because you don't waste a lot of time on traffic and all this stuff, you know. But I don't agree exactly with that or 100% with that because it doesn't matter if you work in a remote way. If your company doesn't know how this asynchronous communication works, you know. So if you don't have this good communication on the company and all this stuff, it doesn't matter if you work in a remote way and you waste time or on traffic and all this stuff. It would be better if you stay on the office and have this synchronous communication. Unfortunately, but it depends a lot. It depends a lot. I totally agree with the point that about the remote work increase the productivity because you are focused on your on your home, for example, and you don't waste a lot of time on other stuff about traffic and all this stuff. But the company needs to have the maturity to this quite of communication, you know. So it's not so easy, and it's important to focus on that. But it's a good way of working for a lot of companies and a lot of positions. So I like that in a general way. But as I said before, it doesn't matter if you don't have the good communication in your company. But what do you think about that, Evelyn? Let me know your opinion.
Um, I think remote work can increase or reduce, but depends of the person and the position and the company. For example, I work in hybrid model, and I need the both models to my work be affected. For example, in my remote work, I use two tasks for more concentration. So I can be more productive of my tasks. And when I go to office, I have so many calls uh, and I need to talk with a lot of people, and my products it's not so good compared to my remote work. So I divide my work with tasks with more concentration for my remote, and when I go to the office, I used to talk to people um, and the calls, meetings. So we need the both in, but it depends of person because people work who work remote needs more mature to really work, because in working office, people can go to coffee to and stay to 30 minutes, 1 hour. So it depends a lot.
Yeah. In your opinion, what is the the best point about the work when you are on the office, for example, is about the easy communication that you can get when you are calling someone, for example, or is it related to something else? What's your opinion?
I work in a company that is a family culture, so people just hang out. People just go with another rooms and talking in person when need to resolve a problem, for example. So don't have the synchron communication. So people there really needs to talk in person with another areas and with for resolve some problems. So when we work remote, people just have an impression that people does work. So it's not culture about that, but we if the people there really knows and knows the importance of remote working, can be better actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. I totally agree with you because even if we have the options on the meetings and all these tools that you can use to have a meeting, it's not the same that a meeting in person. It's not the same when you are thinking about something and when you need to talk about something and when you need to solve some problems. It's not the same. So in my opinion, it's better when you are in person doing that, and I prefer to do that as well. So communication for me is the most important point about the work in the office,
Yeah.
and work in person. Is the most important point that when you compare to remote work, it's not the same. So maybe in the future will be, maybe, but nowadays not the same, and I really prefer to do that in person. So communication is the key about that, I believe. So because of that, I believe that hybrid mode it's great because you have the both words, So that's a point, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, but okay. So let's move on to the question number 3. Must companies provide remote work options to attract talent in the future, in your opinion? In other words, uh, do you think the companies provide the remote work are a benefit to people or impact on the decision about an employee thinking about, well, I will choose this company because they have the remote work. So do you think it's a really benefit that people will choose about that? So that's the idea of the question. What do you think, Mayara, about this point? Your mic is off, Mayara. Mayara, can you hear me? Your mic is off. Mayara.
I don't understand how you talk.
Let me rephrase the question. It's the question number 3 about the remote work as an option or a benefit about the company. So, for example, do you think that people and the employees, for example, will choose a company because they have the options about the remote work? So, do you think is that a really benefit for people? So maybe we are gonna choose this company because they have the remote work, you know?
Yes, o remoto flexibility is think new é uma coisa nova, é uma coisa nova, então eu acho que vai atrair bons candidatos, sim.
And do you think is that a good strategy for the companies doing that? For example, do you think it's great for the company change the model of work for them to attract more people?
I'm sorry, eu não estou conseguindo formular tudo, mas eu entendo um pouco você, e eu acho que depende muito da empresa, e depende muito do treinamento e assim, da visão da empresa para conseguir tanto atrair quanto manter funcionários bons de forma remota, porque é dos dois lados, tanto a empresa e o funcionário, para continuar sendo uma coisa produtiva. Se for uma pessoa mais que gosta de procrastinar, é algo mais difícil. Mas eu consigo te entender, eu só ainda estou pegando para falar.
Okay, it's not a problem. If I'm speaking fast or something like that, let me know. It's not a problem. I try to rephrase that, or I'm trying to speak more slow, or something like that. You know, it's not a problem. So, and it's totally normal to maybe if you understand me and you can speak or formulate the answer exactly. So that's pretty normal. Try to do that in English. If you can, try to use Portuguese to help you as well. But doing that, you are gonna have this practice, so you're gonna be better on create the answer and the phrase and to have the conversation and join away, you know. So it's totally normal. Don't worry about that. And in a general way, I agree with you. I think it also depends about the company, but nowadays and mainly after the pandemic, I think that the employees are more focused on the remote work, you know. So that's a good point that people focus a lot nowadays. So a lot of people maybe choose the company because of the remote work, and if they have the both options, the full office or the hybrid mode and the remote work, maybe they will choose the remote work, you know. So I believe that it's a good benefit for people, and it's also a strategy for companies to attract more people, you know, and attract talent and all this stuff. So I believe on that. But what do you think about that, Evelyn, in your opinion?
I agree 100% because I work in attraction talent areas. So when I send a message for a candidate, the first question is, do you have remote work? So people doesn't know about salary or benefits or the other information, but the first question is about remote work. So I agree. After the pandemic, people want more quality life and flexibility. So their world is change day after day. So companies have remote work or hybrid models can attract talent, and it's better to about another question to about quality of life, but the health of mind too. So I think it's today it's benefits like another benefit. So I think companies needs to see about this. Of course, some positions does have changed to have a remote work, but the positions can have the work in home or something like that needs to attract talents.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about that part, but you work on HR, so you know about that. You know exactly about that,
Yeah.
and that's great. Do you think actually you said about this point of the model of work is maybe the most important point for people, and the employees and the candidates focus a lot and ask about that if you have the remote work. But do you think it changes about some positions? Because I know that in IT area, for example, the developers and all these people focus a lot on this quite of model of work, but I don't know if it's the same about other positions and other areas in a general way. So maybe you that work on HR know about that. So what do you think?
Yeah, in IT is really common, so it's natural for saying, but today is to all the areas, like sales, like finance, like human resource too. So it's really common. So when I send a message, uh, sometimes we don't talk about salaries or another things. So the first topic is really about remote work or hybrid models. So we are losing candidates all day about this. So people really, really want hybrid models to uh, to quality life. So uh, I think in the past it was more common in IT, but now it's common in all areas.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I believe that changed a lot over these years, but that's a good point. And connect with that, let's jump to the question number six. In your opinion, could the pandemic have permanently changed how people view remote work? Or, in other words, uh, do you think that the pandemic changed this idea about remote work and how people see remote work and how companies see remote work as well? And do you also think that it changed after these years, or right now is the same of the time after just after the pandemic, for example? So, what do you think about that, Mayra? Did you get the question?
I think, yes, I think it can code uh, could change because we we can see um, like good have quality of life worked remote.
Yeah, that's a good point because I believe that before the pandemic, we didn't have this idea about remote work, you know. It was a really big or a big change, you know. So before the pandemic, we didn't have these opportunities and we didn't have this quite of idea about this model. And after that, it changed a lot. I don't know exactly about all the areas and the positions, but I know related to the IT area, and it changed a lot, you know, a lot, and maybe it changed the all the market that we have, and we see these those consequences nowadays yet, you know. So it's a lot of changes, but unfortunately nowadays I believe that we regret, I believe. Compared to just after the pandemic. We don't have the same positions on remote work and all this stuff. The companies are going back to the full in office work and the hybrid work and all this stuff. Unfortunately, for a lot of companies and a lot of people. But yeah, maybe it is not the same about compared to the just after the pandemic, but we have this change, you know, and it was important to people and companies know that we can do that. And for a lot of companies and a lot of positions that um, uh, that can be done, you know. So it's a good point, I believe. But what do you think, Kathleen, in your opinion?
Yes, I agree. Uh, I think after the pandemic, it really changed the mind of the people about remote work. Before pandemic, people didn't uh, didn't think about this. Remote work already exists, but uh, before pandemic is more intensive now. No positions are created, and some companies in different states or our country is hiring candidates in all world. No areas like AI really word change about this. So I think when we think about remote work now, it's really different about people thinking the past.
Yeah, direct with you. And in a general way, what do you think we need to do to have the remote work as a standard option, you know, in the future maybe? Maybe it's a change for companies, a change for the government or the people, the employees, I don't know. What do you think?
Uh, Sorry, it's like uh, to remote work is the only option. I sorry, I don't.
Yeah, not exactly the only option, but the standard option, you know, or the primary option on the companies, like a standard, you know. What do you
Mm,
think we need to do to have this option as a standard? The remote work is the common thing, you know.
mm, actually, today I can't see this scenery because some companies are backing to the traditional model. So it's really um, it's really sad. I think because after the pandemic, yeah, I think work stay on the remote work is really uh, is really common. So, but now some companies are going back. So we I have no idea of the future. I think it's about the mind of the people, but it's hard to fix about this.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a easy change, you know. It's not so easy to do that. We need to do a lot of changes on the companies, on the people, and all this stuff. Uh, and we need to improve a lot of other things to have this like a standard, you know. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that this scenario is like a easy thing. Actually, I think it's pretty difficult to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's difficult. But
Yeah.
okay, welcome guys to the main room. I would like to know what did you think about immersion and about the topic. And actually, let me answer. Actually, let me ask you one question. Rogério, do you think is actually the remote work over, or is maybe in the future we are gonna have this option again, like a standard thing or something like that, compared to the pandemic, for example?
It was a difficult question to answer because I don't understand everything. I'm back today.
Do you think is the remote work over, or do you think is in the future this option will be like a standard thing again, or like the pandemic, you know? After the pandemic, we have the remote work as a strong thing or a strong option, and nowadays not the same. So, do you think is a remote work over?
Understand it now. I think the pandemic changed this situation. I think remote work will continue because the companies find a new opportunity to save money. Allowed to spend money to pay rent, I think, and it's flexible for the employees to choose this option. I think it continue.
Amazing, amazing. And what do you think, Edwin, about that?
Yes, I think that maybe we will not see the boom of the remote working as we saw in the pandemic time. Yes, but the remote working still there. Yes, even though many company decided to return in the office, but still there. It's not applied in the all industries, but some industry like marketing, like tech, people still hiring for professional in remote working model. Uh, yes.
Amazing, amazing. So right now, let me ask you the guys that are here for the first time. So, Taiwan, what did you think about the topic, the immersion, and this first experience on Talk and Talk? Let me know about you.
I think it was very positive. It's my first immersion like this way. I just having normal conversations in in English classes, so it's a little different, but also I can see the difference and how interesting the system is. So I very excited to continue the immersion every day and compare how the speaking, the training speaking, and can be more confident and secure. So I have good impressions about that, and I expected to continue and having this good and I forgot the word impression. This good impression.
Amazing, amazing. And what about you, Mayara? What did you think about this experience? I believe that your mic is off.
Thank you. I like it. I liked it. I it I think it good for training my listening and para perder a vergonha também.
Yeah, that's a good point. So amazing. And what about you, Evelyn? What did you think about this first immersion?
It was really positive. I think talk it's the opportunity to practicing conversation. So it was a great experience, and I really enjoyed the topic. So I think it's a great option to be more confident in English.
Awesome, awesome. So, guys, we unfortunately we don't have more time. So, I would like to send here on the chat the link of the survey. Is that's a normal survey? You can see actually you can say what did you think about the immersion and give me some feedbacks about the immersion as well, and also suggest other topics that we're gonna talk that we actually that you want to talk about. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed the conversation, and I hope to see you on the next time as well. Okay, so thank you a lot, and